A happy September that turned into a nightmare. They had been friends since childhood and were inseparable. Unfortunately, one of them turned out to be a monster. In this video, we will tell you what really happened. Her name was Keeley Bunker, and at just 20 years old, she was on the verge of something big and bright. She was preparing for a job interview, getting ready to attend a concert by her favorite artist, and laughing with friends. And then everything ended, just 5 minutes from her home. And do you know what's the most chilling part? The answer had been right under everyone's noses the entire time. This is not just a tragedy, it's a story that makes you wonder, how well do we really know those we trust? A young girl, only 20 years old, full of plans and dreams. Keeley Bunker, from the small English town of Tamworth, was practically glowing with happiness in September 2019. She had just celebrated her birthday. On September 7th, she turned 20, and life seemed to be on the brink of something new and exciting. A concert by her favorite artist was on the horizon, and she had also been invited for a job interview at a kindergarten, a position as a teaching assistant, a dream she had cherished since childhood. Keeley adored children, and this was her chance to finally make that dream a reality. But instead of the joyful beginning of a new chapter, her story ended in a way so terrifying that it still sends shivers down the spine. It all started with that concert on September 18th. Together with her best friend Monique, Keeley Bunker headed to Birmingham, a big city just half an hour away. They had the time of their lives, and after the show, they decided to stop by a club with some friends. The night stretched on, and sometime after 1 a.m., the group began to go their separate ways. Keeley, Monique, and their childhood friend Wesley, a guy they had known since kindergarten, took a taxi to Monique's house. It seemed like everything was under control, friends were nearby, the night was full of fun, and home was just a short distance away. But this is where things take a turn that makes your heart sink. Monique, knowing how small and fragile Keeley was, just 150 centimeters tall and weighing only 40 kilograms, tried to convince her to stay the night. But Keeley was determined. No, I want to go home and sleep in my own bed. I have a job interview tomorrow. Wesley, being the good friend he was, offered to walk her home. Monique sighed in relief. Surely she'd be safe with him. They said their goodbyes, and the two disappeared into the night. Keeley's house was only a 20-minute walk away. What could possibly go wrong? Half an hour later, Monique texted her friend, "Did you get home?" Silence. She called Wesley. "Where's Keeley?" He replied, "We parted ways about 5 minutes ago, near the phone booth. She's fine." Monique figured Keeley had just fallen asleep from exhaustion and went to bed herself. But by morning, everything fell apart. Keeley wasn't answering her phone. Her mother went to check her room, but it was empty. The bed untouched, the house eerily quiet. Panicked, her mother called Monique, who was just as shocked, but she left for home. And that's when the nightmare truly began. Family, friends, and Wesley all rushed to look for Keeley. Her mother posted on social media, desperately asking if anyone had seen her daughter. Nothing. Then came the call from the kindergarten. Keeley never showed up for her interview. She had been so excited about this job, she would never have missed it. Her parents ran to the police. Wesley told them he had walked her to the phone booth on Wordsworth Avenue, just 5 minutes from home. But then things got strange. He admitted he had been drinking at the club, felt sick, and went home, leaving her to walk alone. Guilt was eating away at him, and he threw himself into the search efforts. The police and volunteers split into search teams. Some started from Monique's house, while others traced the route from the phone booth to Keeley's home. Wesley led detectives along the path, but was acting strangely. When they asked for his phone to check his geolocation and confirm where they had been, he snapped, "What? Are you trying to pin this on me?" Eventually, they convinced him to hand it over, but this was just the beginning. Then came the first major clue. A backpack was found in a park near Wordsworth Avenue. Her family recognized it immediately. It was Keeley's. Inside were her keys, clothes, and a phone that had been turned off. Everyone's heart sank, and then a scream. Keeley's uncle, searching the park, shone his flashlight over a stream. Something glimmered, a bracelet, on a hand, her hand. Keeley lay there, her pants and underwear pulled down, her body motionless. It was a sight no one could ever forget. The police immediately knew she had been raped and murdered. Her body was sent for examination, and all eyes turned to Wesley, the last person to see her alive. He was nervous, stumbling over his words, and now his refusal to hand over his phone seemed even more suspicious. Detectives dug deeper. Wesley and Keeley had been friends since they were 5 years old, like siblings. So why was he acting so strangely? They finally unlocked his phone, and surprise, the password he gave didn't work. Then, new evidence surfaced, CCTV footage from a rugby club in the park. The video showed Wesley and Keeley at 4:20 a.m. She was running, he was chasing her, and it wasn't near the phone booth. It was at the far end of the park. He had lied. He was arrested immediately, though no charges were filed yet. But Wesley remained calm, as if he had everything under control. Then, his phone's location data revealed even more. Wesley didn't leave the park until 6 a.m., and he returned multiple times before noon. Witnesses confirmed they had seen him wandering around as if searching for something. The autopsy confirmed Keeley had been strangled after being raped, and then a final, damning piece of evidence. Wesley's bank card was found right next to her body. His game was over. During interrogation, he tried to squirm his way out. First, he claimed, "I was drunk. We were messing around. I jumped on her back, and she fell and hit her head." That was a lie. The autopsy showed she had been strangled. There were signs of a struggle, defensive wounds under her fingernails. Then, he changed his story again. "We had consensual sex, but she suddenly died. I panicked. Detectives just smirked. The DNA on his clothes, her makeup on his shirt, the strangulation marks. Everything pointed to one truth. He attacked her, killed her, and then tried to hide her body." The trial was high profile. Wesley kept repeating his defense. It was an accident. But prosecutors painted a horrifying picture. He made advances on Keeley. She refused, and her drunken childhood friend lost control. He raped her, strangled her, and left her in the stream. Then he kept going back, trying to cover his tracks. The evidence, geolocation data, CCTV footage, DNA, was stacked against him. Then came the shock. 5 other women came forward. They revealed that Wesley had done the same things to them. Some had stayed silent for years, but Keeley's death gave them the courage to speak up. The jury didn't take long to decide, guilty. In August 2020, Wesley was sentenced to life in prison, with a minimum of 30 years behind bars. If he ever gets out, he'll be 51 years old. The town was in turmoil, the media was relentless. Everyone was asking, how could someone like him, a young, popular guy with so many friends, turn into a monster? And how could Keeley, who had trusted him since childhood, become his victim? This story feels like a punch to the chest. Keeley was so full of life, so real. Her dreams, her laughter, everything ended just 5 minutes from home. And the most chilling part? The truth had been right in front of everyone all along. A friend she trusted turned out to be a predator. And how many more stories like this remain hidden, until someone finally dares to speak. And that concludes our coverage of this tragic story. If you found this video informative or thought-provoking, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on cases like these. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to share this video with your friends and give it a thumbs up if you found it valuable. Thank you for watching.